is what you got.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a live match preview. And yes, it is Too Late Diaries as per usual. As Jun says here, to be honest, guys, I generally, it's Jun, you know, man, you're a busy man. Start of the year, return to work. It's just been mad busy. I've literally had to get myself a Navas screen. So we've got 3 screens to make sure that we can pattern all this up. So I'm really just locked in, and I just keep getting carried away, man. I'll be so real. I just keep getting doing all work, get carried away, and I was like, shit, 10 minutes have passed. But we are here, we have started, and we are here to talk everything Tottenham. Most importantly, though, the match today, because obviously Bournemouth, first loss of the season, first time we actually got battered and dealt with, the first true crack in the system of Thomas Frank. That was ignored by myself. I can't lie. I ignored it at the first sign. I was like, do you know what? It's one game he's going to learn. He come out. He said the right thing. He told us that this was the worst performance. This can't happen again. And he identified the things that went wrong that I had identified too. So I thought that was going to present a great turnaround and, you know, a nice recognition from the manager to at least acknowledge the faults of himself, but not just himself, the team, the qualities, and how we approach that game and address it in the future. We are now, I think, 3.5 months on, or just over 3 months on. Turn this heat off. I keep making a mistake. Turn my heating on. It's too cold. It's too hot. Sorry, these electric heaters. But 3 months on from that game, it seems to be teams break us down in the exact same way. We have the exact same problems with the build-up, the exact same attacking issues. I think that was the first game that we took us 60 minutes to get a shot on target. It seems to be a week in, week out at this point. And we are literally set piece FC. So things haven't gone well since that loss. And, you know, I suppose they say unfortunately, but maybe fortunately for us, it's been a while. So I'm hoping that time is running out. I'm hoping that time is running out for this. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna give him the name that Jacob gave him. Timmy the Trash Can, aka Frank Osborne, aka the Green Goblin himself, Thomas Frank. Yeah, man, we need him out of this club ASAP. But look, people, big up to everyone inside. As you can see, we're trying to get the content back up, trying to get into the flow of the January busy transfer window. Gonna keep up to date with everything that's going on. You're gonna look to seeing that we're doing a live most days whenever I can, because, you know, busy life and that. But if not, definitely uploads. If it's not always gonna be a long video, be a short. We're just trying to make sure there's content coming out on a daily basis. But what I need from you guys is your support, your help to just keep me pushing, keep the channel growing. And you can do that just by smashing a like on the video, just by commenting when you're in here, commenting on the videos, you know, just showing your love and support through just the easy means, man. You don't have to do much. You really don't have to do much. I ain't asking for much. Just tap a like, you know, don't take a second and don't cost a thing. And yeah, man, share it if you can. If you want to go the extra way and share it with your people, them, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Maybe their uncle them and cousin them, a granddad's them. Anyone, subscribe to your boy Durag Diaries. But yeah, man, also, as you can see here, right here, coffee. We're loaded right now, so I don't need one right now, but feel free to if you want to buy me a coffee, you can do so in this little barcode thing right there. Do what Ghosted says. Yeah, big up to you though, every single time. Big up to my guy Ghosted. Big up to John in the morning. Good morning to my guy Mustafa. See, I even done some content for you, Mustafa. I hope you watched it. Some people are saying, we don't care, Jords. I'm like, yo, I said I'm trying to do some more rival content. But I thought there's the first fan base I've got to address is definitely your one. With all the, you know, got a new driver and them things. Yeah, Man United have got a new chauffeur Yeah, man, like Ole at the wheel. Yeah, he's pulling up with a new chauffeur service. So that had to be addressed most definitely. Rodney Martin, big up to Coys. Big up to you, Rodney, coming into the house nice and early. Bournemouth haven't won in ages. Frank might give them a victory to Semenyo last game. I won't be surprised if we give Semenyo a hat trick. You know, you guys haven't, obviously, I think I haven't done a match preview video live since Liverpool. We've played Liverpool since then. We played after that. What was the next games? Brentford, Palace, Sunderland. I don't think we've actually lost in this period, which is mad after Liverpool. But I think it's those games, and each one of those games, I didn't predict to win. I don't think I have predicted Spurs to win. Let me actually go back to when last time I predicted Spurs to win confidently, because it seems like a while right now. Bournemouth haven't won in ages, but I haven't been confident with this, bro. That's the realest shit. Like Spurs, last time I predicted Spurs to win was exactly a month ago against Brentford. That 2-0 win. Away from that, we obviously lost against Forest and Liverpool, and we've been unbeaten in 3, but that includes 2 draws. So look, to be honest, Bournemouth are in horrible form. Bournemouth is a team that we should go out there and beat. Do you know what? And I'm gonna, you know, them ones like when there's credit in the bank, I'm taking it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it because I was one of the first people to tell you about the fraud of Iraola. Yeah. And do you know what's funny, Mustafa? Yeah, because why am I seeing a video of Scholes and is it Nicky Butt? I think it was Nicky Butt. Sat there saying managers say no. I wouldn't take Glasner. No Xavi. No Glasner, no Xavi, no someone else. They said another mad name, but they said yes to Iraola. Madness. Yes to Roy Keane. Like, what are we doing here? Yes to Roy Keane. Yes to Iraola. This guy is a fraud. Iraola, his system only works. Last season, when they had, and I know a lot of people at the start of the season would have said they had a great team. They didn't. But at the end of the season, it's quite easy to recognize that they had a much better team than what we thought it was. You know, they've got a defender that now plays for PSG in Ilya Zabani. You've got a defender that now plays for Real Madrid in Dean Huijsen. You got another defender that now plays for Liverpool, in Milos Kerkez. That's 3. 3 of their back 4 now play for the top 3 teams in the world, or 3 of the top teams in the world. So fair to say that he could do highline football when you've got players of that ability. When it comes to bringing that level of player down, and you have to adjust your system so slightly, you know, have to make those right tactical tweaks, not play so gung-ho, protect your back line. That's something that Iraola has not done so well this season. Just going to get the Premier League table up just to understand, because I actually don't know. Look, I don't know where Spurs are. So when I say I don't know where Bournemouth are in the table, it's not me being disrespectful. I don't know where Spurs are. So let me look at where Spurs are 13th. Bournemouth are 15th. They've conceded 38 goals this season. 38 goals. Only 3 teams have conceded more than them. And that's West Ham, Burnley, and Wolves. So when I talk about how poorly they defend, I generally mean like he is just as bad as Ange when it comes to his style of football. Last year, he got away with it. Many Spurs fans were saying they wanted him in. Let me ask you now, Spurs fans, people in the chat, would you guys take Iraola at this point? I'm generally intrigued to understand if you guys will take Iraola at this point. Whether it's over Frank or whether you'll take him long term, let me know. Clarify your answer. If it's just you'll take him over Frank because Frank's shit, cool, understand. But would you take him as well long term? Ask yourself that question too. I'm generally intrigued to understand. And I'm just seeing Semenyo is actually 3rd top goal scorer in the Premier League. He's doing his thing, man. I actually have this weird feeling, yeah, and I need to do some proper research on it. But I've always had the thought that whenever Manchester City sign from other Premier League teams, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have the knowledge, they don't necessarily work out. And, you know, I go way back. I'm thinking, like, Wilfred Boney wasn't terrible for them. Wasn't great, though. Jack Rodwell, awful signing for them. Calvin Phillips, awful signing for them. I mean, Aït-Nouri doesn't look like a good signing right now. Nunes, I mean, it took a while for him to pick up form. He's pretty good right now, but it took a while. It definitely took a while for Nunes to even get into his rhythm and start to look like the player he was at Wolves. You go to Scott Sinclair, another one, didn't work out. I'm just thinking from the top of my head, generally, people. I suppose Fabian Delph worked out in some aspects, but again, I mean, he was captain, so you can give them Fabian Delph. He was good for a while. I'll give them James Milner. But I'm generally like, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, there's really not many many signings they made from other Premier League, like smaller Premier League sides that have worked out for them. Now, I'm not saying Semenyo is going to have the same effect because he's coming to a different team. He's going to be instantly into that first lineup with the amount of injuries that they have, because Manchester City are going through a huge problem right now. Huge problem with their injury list. I'm pretty sure that the players they have unavailable start from Diaz to Gvardiol to obviously Aït-Nouri and Marmouche away from on AFCON, but also Rodri's just coming back in, but Savio still injured, Oscar Bob injured. They've got a few other injuries. I'm trying to think for it from the top of my head. Is Doku? No, I don't think Doku's injured, but they got a few other injuries. So they got a lot of injuries that allow Antoine Semenyo to go in there and start instantly. But you're playing against low blocks. Different style of game. He's not going to be able to just run through with a lot of space in behind in the transition and just, you know, P&P his way through a team. He's going to have 5 or 6 players sat on the edge of their box, and he's going to have to be a bit technically better, a bit smoother, a bit smarter, ultimately, to break down these teams. So very interested to see how this move does work out for him. But today is his last game. Last game at home at the Vitality Stadium, where they do have a very good record. I do have to say that. I do know whenever they do play at home, maybe not this season, but just in general, at the Vitality Stadium tend to have a pretty good record. So I wouldn't be too confident for us going there. I'm just going to be honest. But let me catch up with the chat, man. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm still trying to find out about this Iraola stuff. Of course, interim Ollie was decent. Only here 6 months. Then fresh coach Jords. I mean, if you say so. Whose football was worse, a bias side? Frank Conte. Don't put Conte in this conversation. This is extremely disrespectful to put Conte in this conversation, because on Conte my eyes used to bleed watching some Conte games, no doubt. You know, 60th minute we're losing, man's bringing on Davinson Sanchez, Serge Aurier. Dark times. It was dark times. But one thing I knew with Conte is the team's going to show character. The team's going to show mentality. The team will actually have patterns of good attacking play at times, where you're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he overcoaches his team. He wanted the team to attack in the exact patterns that he had practiced with them on the training pitch. But at least he practiced patterns, good patterns at that. With Thomas Frank, there's not good patterns. There's not any pattern. The pattern is get the ball out wide and cross it in. This is fucking League One, not even Championship, National League level football, bro. Like, oh. Can't lie, Jords, as a United fan, your season starts when you get rid of Frank. He's dusty. I know how you feel about that one. I agree. Let's cheers to that, man. Skull. You know them ones. Last time I predicted a win was Burnley. Dark. These man's talking about first game of the season. Kengis, get out of here, man. You've come in and predicted wins plenty of times. Another 0-0 for you tonight. Touchline loves, you know, Touchline, you come in here, you talk about my club, you never address anything about your club. Whenever we talk about something your club, you use extreme copium to even get through any of that. So, like, coming in here, well, another 0-0 for you, man, tonight. What are you gonna do tonight, though? What are you doing? Something great? Is it gonna look good for you tonight or tomorrow? Let me check when your game is, because I actually don't know. You man's game is tonight. Burnley away. I mean, if you don't win. Very, very, very big problems, but you should win, you know. You should definitely win. Scholes is biased. I know that he's biased, so I get that, but it's the joke, innit? It's like, yo, man saying no to Xavi. And you know the funny thing, I'm pretty sure Xavi's the one that used to compliment Scholes, make Scholes seem like he was way better player than he was. And like I'm a big fan of Scholes. Like someone called me the other day and said, who's the best midfielder in Premier League all time? And I said it. For me, probably is Scholes. When I grew up, I remember being a like central midfielder. I used to just watch Scholes and think, bro, everything this guy does is clean. But again, was he that good? Nah, I'm going mad. I rate Scholes. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't rate the football knowledge. I just don't rate Scholes. All these United legends just have shit ball knowledge and don't really know much about modern day football, and that's what makes me think of them as worse footballers. Like, I can't stand them sometimes. Some of the things they say. This is Toadman as well, bro. This is Toadman as well talking the way he does. I think we'll lose tonight. If we lose to Villa in the FA Cup, I will be frank. You're not Frank out. Shit. Do you know what? At this point, I don't know who is Frank out and who is Frank in. Maybe I need to run a poll in the chat just to understand that. Do you know what? That would be good. Let me run a poll in the chat to see how many people are still Frank in. Because I'm genuinely intrigued by this. Like, genuinely so intrigued to understand how someone could still be Frank in, but more importantly, how many of you guys are still Frank in. So let me get a poll set up. Real quick. Who's your ideal manager, Jords? Vicarina, it is Xavi. I would like Xavi Hernandez personally. Enrique is available in summer. He wants a new challenge. He'll go City, probably. I think definitely. I think that's what's going to happen. He's also been living in Pep Guardiola's shadow for a long time. You know, went to Barcelona after Guardiola, done his thing, but didn't really do what Guardiola done. So he wants to come to Man City again, do his thing, but not quite do what Guardiola done. So, do you know what? Shout out to Enrique, but a man living in another man's shadow, it's a bit. You see me? I would want better for myself. But do you know what? Shout out to him because he's a great manager. He definitely is a great manager. But it makes it interesting because once PSG becomes available, it's like, who do PSG get? Because PSG are going to get a top manager. There's no doubt about that. But what top manager are they going to go get? I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to get a Fabregas, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go because it'd be a good job for him to take up where it's not too much pressure in the league, can perform in the Champions League, but still clubs don't take too much. Don't take too much off you if you fail at PSG. And it's hard to fail at PSG. So you can win league titles, not win a Champions League and still be a failure in some sense, but still be pretty good. Nobody's gonna discredit your CV at that point unless you do a Poch thing. So I could see them going to get maybe a Fabregas, maybe even a company. I could see a lot of things moving around this summer, especially if a move like Enrique, like once a big manager makes a move, a lot of other managers going to make a move. The overseas signing usually do better. Yeah, that's something I've always agreed with. How could I forget the £100 million bum himself? But Semenyo with Haaland is dangerous. It is. Haaland with anyone with that amount of speed and power, running through, down on the wing. Like, that's... Imagine doing Doku Semenyo. Doku on the left, Semenyo on the right. Oh, my God. Doku on the left, Semenyo on the right is mad. It's madness, bro. You're going to be... It's a fullback's worst nightmare. Because these men could swap sides. These men could do the thing where it's like, yo, I'm swapping sides. And it's not going to get any better for the fullback. Not going to get... It's not like, yeah, do you know what? Oh, man, can rest up a little easy now. No. Like, none of that. So, bro, they are going to be dangerous. But is it going to be enough, man? Is it going to be enough? Because we know... We know what we need. We know that we need City to recover this points gap. We need City to start doing some maintaining maintaining their form in the league over a long period. But I don't know if it's going to happen. To be honest. Semenyo will get your goals, but he isn't going to be that creative winger that will feed Haaland, that's for sure. the thing is, I don't necessarily think he needs to like feed Haaland with some amazing crosses. He just needs to work it to the byline and keep doing those cutbacks. Manchester City are so good at those cutbacks because they have so many players arriving on the edge of the box very late. You have Tijani Reinders, you have Bernardo Silva, you have Foden, you have Cherky. You always have a few players, even Rodri, even bloody Rico Lewis, when he starts in central midfield. Like, they're always got someone waiting on the edge of the box for that cutback. So if you can get Semenyo working his way to the line and just banging cutbacks, like he used to do that for Solanke. Him and Solanke linked up very well in that season where Solanke scored 19 goals because them cutbacks were working. You can get that to Haaland and get the most out of that attacking outlet that Manchester City have. That combination is going to be dangerous, man. Those combinations are going to be dangerous. So fucked off with this shite club. We need 2 quality wingers, or we'll probably end up with Werner and Sterling. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And is this Levy out that's changed to Levy has gone? Is this Levy out changed to Levy has gone? I love that. I'm just finding it so funny how there was so many Levy outs and I forgot. I don't even see Levy out no more in anyone's name. It's just Enoch. Most people just change it to Enoch out still, and it's like, yo, we got half of the job done, man. Like, be happy, innit? 50% of the job's done. We might not get Enoch out, but we got Levy out. So take what you can get sometimes. Jords, be ready for the Semenyo masterclass today? Yeah, that's what we've been talking about, man. So I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, we did. We definitely struggled to create. That's a lie, Khalid. Our attack was so poor under Rand. We used to score more goals, no doubt, because we were so open and we used to throw a lot of players forward. So yes, we used to get more shots on target and stuff like that. But the actual, like, when teams went into a low block, our solutions weren't there. We weren't good at breaking down low blocks. Ange's actual attacking football wasn't that great. We just scored goals, and somehow you sit there and think, how do we score this goal? And it's a lot of like good combinations into the wider areas in transition to then catch teams off guard. A lot of our goals are in transition. And that's where I'm even more frustrated with Thomas Frank. Because we was one of the best transition teams. I suppose obviously with Kane and Son, that's always helped, isn't it? Like, you're going to be a great transition team. But like when you mention over the last 4 or 5 years prior to Ange, yeah, and prior to Frank in general, we've been a great transitional team, especially with Son in there. We've just fell off so bad. Like, we transition so bad at the moment. We don't even look like we're transitioned together. Again, it looks like a team of individuals. It looks like we've turned up power league. You got a couple ringers, and you're just trying to make it work. That's how it feels to us right now. Thomas the Frank engine didn't last long. Too much deflection. What do you mean too much deflection? Jords, don't underestimate the vitality. Pitch is small. They press you relentlessly. It could be long for you, man. To be fair, you probably wrote that after I said it, before I said it, but yeah, I definitely did say that. He's good. I like that Eli Krupi. I think he's on like 6 goals for them this season or something like that. I heard he was signed from like the 2nd division in Ligue 1, in Ligue 2, I should say, in France. And it's mad because like people always tell you there's not good players here, there's not strikers and stuff, and it's like, this is why you have to get scouts to do their job. Bournemouth have found a gem in the 2nd division of France, a player that bagged I think 18 or 19 goals last year. Looks class. Whenever I watch him, comes off the pitch, he's active, good technically, got a decent finish on him, knows when to arrive at the right areas. I don't think he's ready to go to a top team and perform or anything like that right now. But after another 2 or 3 years at Bournemouth, he will definitely get a big move because he looks like a very good player. And that goal he scored against Arsenal was class. He's one that we're going to have to watch out for today. And to be fair, when you look back on the Sunderland game, one of my biggest frustrations and one of my reasons why I knew he wasn't going to do well was wholly off the back of Brian Brobby. We knew the problem that Brian Brobby was going to be. A direct, fast, and strong striker is one that always causes us problems because he can match the pace of a Van de Ven. Not really, not going to be faster than him, but can match his pace, can match him by strength. And he's pretty smart. He's good with his hold-up play. He's good with the little 1-2s, the links. He's got a decent technical floor. So the goal that he actually ended up scoring was extremely poor defending, and it's from that man that always gives us a problem. And that's where I'm actually worried today is Romero. Christian Romero. Too much peaks and troughs for this guy. It's great at 1 minute, and then it's terrible. And these last couple games, I'm watching him, I'm just like, bro, like, this is not captain material. You're not acting like a captain. You don't act like a leader. And I know I flip-flop on Romero. I do. I flip-flop on Romero because he's a player that I appreciate a lot. Oh, he goes. Stop going in and out. Stop going in and out. Stop. Keep opening my door and closing my door. Come. But he's a player that I'll consistently flip-flop on off the basis that top quality on the ball. On his day is really good, but his consistency is never there. So as much as I like him, he's a player that we are just going to have to accept and let go. I do think Thomas Frank made the wrong decision in making him captain. I think Van der Ven definitely got some leadership qualities, and you can see the improvement from him taking on that armband this season, just being more commanding at the back, being a lot better aerially, and just taking more responsibility to perform for the team, in the goal against Sunderland, being the guy that took the shot that, eventually deflected off Ben Davies. But I just think that we're going to have to move on, man. We're going to have to, because it just can't be relied upon. All these little mistakes, all these times he gets pulled out of position, and that's his biggest problem is positioning. As a centre-back, at your prime age of around 27 now, you can't have positioning issues. You can't be consistently dragged out of position. He's too irrational. He's too aggressive at times. And it's just a consistent problem. He could have got a red card in the game, probably deserved to have a red card in that game against Brentford. And it's just like, yo, he got 2 yellows against Liverpool, come back, should have had a red card. It's like, what are we doing here, man? I love him, but at the same time, I'm tired. I'm tired of accepting this. It's been 4 or 5 years of Kuti now, and I would have thought that in his 5th year, we used to see young Gabriel Magalhaes used to make a lot of mistakes, used to be very aggressive, and you used to have this same Brazilian, I suppose, South American temperament. But he's calmed it right down. He knows when to come with that energy and knows when not to. And now that's what's made him such a good centre-back nowadays. He sort of he times his aggressiveness. He knows when, he's good at choosing when to turn it on and when to turn it off. Whereas with Romero, there is none of that. Hey. You stay up. Sleep. So, yeah, man, Romero is going to be a problem for us today. We're going to go through the Thomas Frank press conference very shortly and go through some of the news stories literally in a moment. I'll catch up with the chat and then we'll get round to that. So, yeah, give me a moment. Channel is flying, bros. GG's, big up to you, my bro. Appreciate Footy Corner TV. Just trying to ting. Could only be very good against teams that want to play football. If you're talking about, I take it you're talking about Semenyo, but I hear you. Big up to Frosty in the building. I hope you're well, man. Jords, how are you, my brother? I have some really bad news on my surgery. I can't wait. I can't have it because I have genetic epilepsy, and oh, sorry. Give me a second. Well, Frosty, I'm very sorry to hear, man. Very sorry to hear you can't have your surgery. We're all wishing you your best here, hoping that you do recover well. As I said, man, still very young, man. You still got so much life ahead of you. Try not to let this bring you down. It's a new year. Hopefully, this can give you a new outlook, fresh outlook. I think you said you're 16 this year. So, yeah, man, shout out to you, Frosty. Just keep trying to stay positive, and hopefully you get some good news on this sometime soon. Because, yeah, man, so sorry to hear you couldn't have your surgery, bro. Ahmad cooking for Ivory Coast. Can't wait to have him back. Yeah, I wish we had someone cooking right now because we ain't got no chefs. I remember on Savage Channel I said Ange needed another year. We've got Frankenstein. I don't remember that, Matt, but I'm sure you was probably one of the many Ange sexuals that wanted to give him time. Ange moved on. Ange has failed since us. So why are we still talking about Ange? Like, what are we doing here? This is pointless. Big up Durag Diaries. Smash the likes. Big up to my guy, Hyper Protagonist. Every single time. That's a member in the house. Member for 9 months. 9-month member. This guy is a true supporter of the channel. Honestly, Hyper, like, I appreciate you heavy. I remember when there was times when there's nobody in the chat. There's times when there's nobody in the chat and it's just me and Hyper. It's pretty much just me, Hyper, and maybe 1 or 2 other people. And Hyper was here holding it down, just having conversation with man, just getting man through some of these lives. And, you know, it's not just me that you show this love to. Show this love to all the man, them Hooks, Dean. Like, yeah, man, we appreciate it heavy, bro, for real. Like, it's the support is always there, man. So big up to you, bro, for real. Always big up to you. If you guys do want to be like you know, Hyper and become a member, get some exclusive access to content, become a delinquent, become a descendant, all of that good stuff, you can join the Royal Navy memberships now by tapping the link in the pinned comment, which I'm going to post in a second. So memberships are available. We are back releasing membership content. Yesterday, anybody that saw the Ole video would have got exclusive access if they was a member. So look out for that. And I still can't believe we've got 12 votes right now. I need more people to vote. We've got 23 people inside. 12 votes in 12 minutes is mad. Everybody just get on the chat and vote. I need to understand Frank in, Frank out. Right now, the poll is at 67% Frank in, which is madness. But I'm interested to hear your reasons why. Still nobody answered whether they would take Iraola right now as well, and Iraola long term. That's what I was really interested to understand. So let me know. What's that say? Don't die like, oh. Yeah, it's just, I got caught off guard, man. I've never seen a lot. So it's madness, Khalid. I mean, it's actually mad. Romero, you mean Christian Sanchez turning off like an Argentinian PS4 whenever we need him? Do you know what? It's actually mad because he is basically Christian Sanchez. Like we've signed another Davinson Sanchez because Davinson Sanchez in the back three was cold under next to Vertonghen or Alderweireld, and he wasn't the headless chicken. When he got away from them, man, he was a headless chicken. Romero is definitely Christian Sanchez. Like, he's better. Because the thing is, Sanchez is actually good on the ball as well. People don't realize Sanchez was good on the ball defender, just super aggressive. And he just never got that bozo gene out of him. Christian Sanchez. Or Cootie Sanchez. Cootie Sanchez. Oh, that might be his new name, man. Oh, my bad, Ghosted. My bad. Man's a Spanish Postacoglu. Yeah, he is, to be fair. He is. Frank in. Look at the Arsenal fans. Of course you're Frank in, bro. Of course you are. Mero got spun on that Bobby goal. Is it too early to say? No. It's not too early. It's late. A lot of people have been calling him a liability, to be fair. I've been down with the liability stuff because I like Romero in it. Like I say, I have a soft spot for some of our players, but yeah. Let's just with him, a liability. Yeah. It's dark. What the? Sorry, people. You know, it's knowing you just get work emails. You're looking at what am I even seeing? What am I looking at? VDV is your best offender since Vertonghen. Well, since Alderweireld, I would say. Well, since Alderweireld and Vertonghen, you know, because I think Alderweireld, who left first? Vertonghen might have left after, so maybe you're right. I know Alderweireld lasted longer. Since Alderweireld, but yeah, definitely we are together there. Just going through some of the let's catch up on some of the news reports regarding Spurs, what's going on in the world of Spurs right now. I've seen a few quotes from things that Frank said in his press conference, as well as got the press conference up itself. What the heck is that? I didn't open that. Okay. Oh my god! I just ended up closing most of them. Okay, do you know what? It's fine. We can just share the screen, get started through the press conference itself to read what is the team news and everything for today. Today, you could see in training, this is on how Solanke has looked in training. Today, you can see in training that he's nice and composed on the ball. Good decisions, good touches. It was a little bit more competitive in the small-sided games. He looked a little bit rusty, which is completely normal. Now he's been out for at least 6 months, so of course, it will take a little bit of time. So even if he's ready for whatever time in the near future, hopefully, then I think he'll be surprised to just see him hit the ground running. Very few players do that. This guy's just pragmatic as like a mentality. His whole mentality in life is pragmatic at this point because like he just sits here and cries and complains and moans and just always giving a negative outlook. Like I'm never see this guy just be positive. Like just speak good positivity about this club or about a player returning. Be like really positive news. It's not never done. Okay. This is on whether Matisse Tell could have a run of games in the side. I would say that he definitely made a positive impact. Let's see what will happen against Bournemouth. But I'm with you. There is also a fine balance of giving some players the trust of a run of games so they can maybe hopefully find a bit of rhythm and also increase their performance level. And then there is a tactical approach of opponents, which players fit into that and get the right mix and balance into the team. But Matty in general was positive. And this is one of the problems with Thomas Frank as a manager. He's far too worried about the tactical approach of the opponents. So he's always trying to adapt his team to the opponents. That's an issue for me because at some point, yes, you do have to take that into consideration, but you need to have your own identity and how you aim to approach the game and just approach that game in every single game in the same way and tactically make a few tweaks to just be like, all right, we're going to do this instead of that. Maybe, look, they're really strong in the fullback area, so we're going to play a little bit more century today. Today, I need to see you take up this area. I need you to make the runs in behind. I need some overlaps or inverse. Like, that's what the tactical tweak should be. Not like fucking change our whole tactical approach because let's change the whole team that we're playing because, they have this player on this side, so we need to have this one on this side to counteract. Like, yeah. On the possession statistics against Sunderland, I think there are two things. I think the first thing is that I agree with you. The first half was way better than the second. And even in the first half, it was not like we had 65% possession or what. Sorry, I just got something come up. And sometimes it's not only about possession. We like to dominate. They went from man to man, so there were a lot of open spaces to run into. For me, that's the more critical areas that we didn't manage to punish from this game. I would say the second half, I felt we dropped off in our drop-off runs to open up and keep the ball. And I think we are not the team that's won 5 games in a row and everything is clicking and smooth. So when you're 1-0 up and you really badly want to win, that can be maybe a little bit nervy. One thing is our name and fantastic history, and I had a problem with this. Had a problem with this line again. Goes to what I said regarding the negativity. It's consistently trying to belittle and bring us down to a certain level of where he feels the club is at right now. I don't agree with where he feels the club is at right now because the club is at this level because of where he has placed us. We are not a mid-table level club. Yes, we have some mid-table level players that are performing right now. But as a manager, you are supposed to be able to elevate these players and tactically coach them and make them better players, but also make the team perform good as a whole to alleviate some of the difference between us and these other teams and the quality. He's not done that at one point. There hasn't been any players that he's highlighting. There's not been any part of our game where you can say, yeah, Frank has improved this, apart from defensively. And defensively, we have improved because we have more than 2 or we have 6 guys defending most of the time on the back of our box like a bitch doing low block. Yeah? Like, on to the next question before I start ranting. On Matisse Tell's impact, I think it's pretty fair to say that we're a little bit short on offensive options. So hopefully, also, I think it's also fair. Everything's also fair with him. Also, always fair. I think there's no one who's really grabbed that shot on the left-hand side, so I think that's definitely up for grabs. So I think it was a positive performance from Matty. I think he did some positive things and got into some good situations. He actually had one effort where he bent in towards the corner, where I think he's probably the best finisher from that position. Definitely. That's one thing we can agree. I think when it comes to the cutting, trying to cut in on that left-hand side and whip the ball in, Matisse Tell has that ability and is definitely one of our best finishers and best shooters from those positions. Just doesn't get into those positions frequent enough. And to be fair, hasn't been playing enough to even build up the rhythm. To be like, yo, let me just work on that cutting and cutting and cutting. And yes, I can't see it happening. Can't see him scoring that goal too many times when he's not getting the playing time opportunity. But let's see how that does sort of come into this game. It's fair, he's young. It's not like he played 5 games in a row, and then that would probably bring a little bit more. It says there. I hope, of course, for him and for us that he could do it, and we've seen it. So that was good, and I think he was also taking more care of the ball. I think it's a big thing. I also spoke that against Brentford and Crystal Palace, we lost the ball 20 or 25 times. You shouldn't ever lose the ball. There's parts there where you can't break through. Okay, so you protect it. 1 more pass, 2 more passes. Okay, then we go again. But overall, positive. Don't care about Ben Davies' impact. On the current position in the table. It's a very crazy league. Very even league. I said that I think the competition between the teams is very big. The difference between the teams is very small margins. So we need to look optimistic and positive on the future, but also understand where we are and keep working very hard to improve and make sure we're ready to play against Bournemouth, a very good Bournemouth team. I know they haven't won as much lately, but they are a team that is very competitive under Areola. And I watched their game against Arsenal. That was a very tricky game that Bournemouth easily could have got something out of. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's fair. Definitely right regarding the Premier League table right now. It's literally like 5 points between 13th and 5th. So there is a huge boost from just one win where you can jump up 4 or 5 places. Again, though, that doesn't mean that we are in a false position. That doesn't mean that we are performing good just because we can jump up the table that quick. That just means that the Premier League is at a very similar level where that mid block, that sort of 5th to 15th right now, a lot of teams are at a similar level. So I don't think that's credit to us. I think that's just where the Premier League is at. Now, in the second half of the season is when you start to see these gaps start to appear. You start to see a 4 or 5 point gap start to build up and teams start to pick up form after the January transfer window. That's where this 4 or 5 points off the top 5 will start to become an issue if we maintain that. Big game, obviously. Oh, why is it? What happened here? Few big games ahead. We got Aston Villa on the weekend, obviously, in the FA Cup, and then after that, West Ham. So a couple games that you can look at potentially scoring some goals. And then away from that, I've got some quotes here from Thomas Frank, where he's spoken more about some of the other stuff surrounding Spurs. So this is Thomas Frank on how Daniel Levy not being at the club is impacting the transfer process this window. My experience is very limited. As I understood, he was the one that was signing off and negotiating the final bit with transfers. He will not do that now. That'll be more down to Johan and Fabio doing that job. We have a good recruitment side with the numbers behind it, looking at the players and then taking that right decision. Then it's down to Johan and Fabio to do the job with the agents and get the deals done. That's the biggest difference. But why are we 7 days into a window with 2 sporting directors and none of them have got a deal done? We're hearing about this Sousa youth. I've been hearing all this stuff about Sousa. Apparently Spurs are putting in another bid for him. He's keen on Spurs. Let me just, I can get the tweet up here. Let me go on my bookmarks. So Eddie Burgos has said that Sousa is open to joining Tottenham. He likes the option of playing in the Premier League and living in London, in addition to the sports project they present to him. Santos await the new offer. It will be almost double the first one. So we are looking at setting and making another bid after apparently the Brazilian is keen on a move to Spurs, as Ben Jacobs has said here. They are looking at a potential of around, I believe it's, they want around 16 million guaranteed with a potential of another 16 million add-on. That's all cool, and I'm sure that's a deal that Johan Langer is going to be working out of him focusing on more of the younger talent side of things. But Fabio Paratici, as we can see here, Tottenham could step up their plans to sign a forward this month after scans showed Mohamed Kudus' injury is worse than fit. Spurs had already targeted a forward. We have then sold a forward, and we still haven't signed a forward on top of one of our forwards getting injured. after already having 4 forwards out. The equation's mad, so I might need to repeat that again. We was going to sign a forward. We then sold a forward. We then got our other forward injured. We already have 4 forwards out injured. We now have 5 forwards out injured. And we still have not signed a forward or put in a bid for a forward. And we're now being told Spurs are going to step up their plans. Where are we stepping up from? Are we stepping up to 2 forwards? Or are we stepping up from we were chatting shit about signing one to really signing one now? Or are you just chatting rubbish, Mike McGrath? Or the journalists just doing journalist things? Because at this point, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. You know, they got onto my TikTok saying 7 days in, no bids. And they said, no, it's 5 days. Well, we are 7 days. No change. No bids. What's going on? Like, shouldn't have sold. No. Johnson deserved to get sold. Johnson should have been sold. He doesn't add much to the team. He was actually it was actually working against us. It was working against us having Johnson play. But again, at the same time, if we're gonna sell him, you need to sign someone else. Because I looked at my bench on the weekend. Dane Scarlett was our first attacking option. Luca Williams-Barnett was our second attacking option. And I rate Luca Williams-Barnett. Like I want to give youngsters a try. Tottenham Thompson, whoever it is, like give some of these a try. Not starting in the Premier League though. Like do that in another competition when we have the time to, but not in the Premier League. Can't be looking at our bench and the first options are kids, academy kids. That's where we have a problem. And yes, we have injuries. Yes, we have availability issues, but we still have squad problems, and it's not been addressed. But what else did Thomas Frank say? Thomas Frank said here on whether he believes Vinay is being more patient with him since he worked with Mikel Arteta. No, doubt about that. Plus, he also knows what good looks like and how unfortunately it can take time to get up to where good should look like. That's definitely beneficial because he understands the journey that we are on. I don't understand this journey. This journey is very, very confusing to me. But look, we are on the journey nonetheless. Dejan Kulusevski, Thomas Frank on Dejan Kulusevski. He said he's a key player and I would love to have him back soon. Unfortunately, it was a tricky injury he got, so it just takes time. Yeah, doesn't look like we're gonna get anything on Dejan Kulusevski anytime soon. I'll be honest, but look, before we head out, we are going to do a lineup builder because you know we love to do a lineup builder. Every time we got a game and our match previews. I want to know your guys' score predictions for today as well. Me personally, I'm gonna go with a draw. I just think Touchline did make a decent point when he was talking about the 0-0. I know I sort of bit and done, you know, the arguing thing, but I do probably agree with him to some extent that a 0-0 is highly likely. If not, a 1-1. I just can't see Spurs doing too much in this game to disrupt Bournemouth. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with a 1-1 for me. But let me know what you guys think of the score predictions. I just think that it's going to be a poor game, poor quality. Two teams that are not in great form. They're going to have better quality than us in attacking the side of things, and we're probably going to miss a few chances. I think we might score first, and then they come back into it. Charlison's going to start. It's going to just be a sloppy game like it is most Spurs games now. But yeah, I'm going to go over 1-1 personally. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us 1-0 also, or maybe 2-1. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So I hear you, N Gibbs. I hear you, Ghosted. Rodney's got us winning, which I love. I love that somebody's going to try to put some confidence and positivity out there for us because I can't right now. Jordan 2 Hots has got Bournemouth 1-1 as well. Yeah, and that's what I hear. Biggest problem is the replacements. The replacements aren't good enough. Johnson is a terrible player, and I'm not bothered we sold him. Yeah, facts. I'm not bothered, but if you do sell him, you got to make sure you at least replace him with someone in it. That's I suppose the point. And like we just called Jan Min Hyuk back from loan to send him back out on, which I thought was actually a really good loan because obviously he come back from Portsmouth, who are pretty poor in the league. They're hanging in around 17th, 18th in the championship to then go to the team that's top of the championship. And apparently they presented the project that he's a key player and he is going to be used. And I know championship teams love to do this to a lot of loanees. But if Yamin Hyok can build up some really strong experience again, because he had a good strong spell last year, the back end of the season with QPR, and if he can have another good 6 months at Coventry, could be ready for Premier League football next year, whether it's at Spurs or another club. Just he could be ready. So Ted Cade's got us drawing 2-2. And let me share my screen as I do a lineup builder. As today is going to be, I suppose for me, there's not much options in it. We've got a lot of injuries, got a lot of players unavailable. So this one pretty much chooses itself. But Romero's going to have to go in. Van der Ven has to go in. Out on the left-hand side, I'm going to go Jed Spence as he was on the bench last game, had a bit of a rest. Me personally, I'm going to go Paulinho in the midfield because as we saw yesterday when we were doing the research, apparently our most progressive passer, so he's the one that we're going to be needing in there. Going to put him in there next to Bergvall because I just think that Bergvall, for me, is the best combination with Paulinho, and he can bring the ability to move the ball from back to front, whether it's passing through long range passing or driving with it. But it's likely that we'll probably see an Archie Gray in here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bentancur Gray or Paulinho and Gray. And then I think Xavi comes straight back into the lineup after 3 games out, obviously due to his suspension. So I think we can, I think this is going to be the formation that we see, or not formation, the lineup that we see, or I'd like to see anyway, definitely with majority of the players. I'm just not sure about Bergvall. I think it might be Gray in there, but because Gray has started so many games, I would expect Bergvall to come into the team in this one. Away from that, I think we see Richarlison up top. I think we're going to see Odegaard on the right. And then I think we see Tell on the left. I think this is the lineup that we're going to see. If there is going to be any change, we might see Kolo Muani start up top. And I would prefer this personally. If we can get like this, and we have the Baguette, we have the Baguette boys leading the line, I'm all for that. Have the Baguette boys lead the line and see what them man can pull together. Because Odegaard and the under-21s looks pretty damn good off the right. Tell's good off the left. And Kolo Muani should be able to link with these, man. We're going up against a team where their defense isn't that great. Like I said, 4th highest amount of goals conceded in the Premier League. They leave spaces open in behind. And we're going to need players that are good technically to be able to combine, but also players that are smart and make good runs. Kolo Muani is one of those types of players. Still waiting to get off his mark in the Premier League as well, which is crazy because right now we have 2 loanees in Muani and Paulinho, which at the start of the season, I said I would have activated Paulinho's loan. But after, 3 or 4 months of watching him, very hesitant that we should spend £25 million on a player who's at that age and that limited on the ball. Probably best to go and reinvest that into a proper top quality deep line playmaker. And then just have someone else come in and contribute at his level to be a squad player. Because if we're going to bring him in to be a squad player, cool. But just know that we're going to have to sign him and sign another midfielder on top and get rid of one of ours. Whether that's getting rid of Saar, whether that's getting rid of Bentancur, whatever has to be done, has to be done. But ultimately, money needs to be brought in and the players will need to be sold to be able to open up that midfield space. No goal Mawani, glazing no goal Mawani. Not glazing nothing, but you talk about box-to-box 9, Ashley. I don't like that box-to-box 9 rubbish, so yeah, leave me out with that. Where do you finish with Frank? Put the 10th in the bag. Yeah, put the 10th in the bag. If Frank stays for the rest of the season, we ain't getting any higher than 10th. 9th, maybe. If you look at Odegaard compilations, even their average, Tell Odegaard awful. Mane is awful, and I predicted at the beginning he won't score a league goal for us. Now, you're definitely doing over the top, Jordan. I don't think any of them are awful players, and we're talking about technical ability. That there are better technical players that we can play right now, isn't it? Like we went from Brennan Johnson and Richarlison starting up top, and we've seen them how bad that was. So if you're gonna want to play a team that can actually play football, these are ones to start. If you want to throw Richarlison up there because he scores a few goals every now and then, but is rubbish in his overall play, then I understand it as well, innit? Sometimes you want a player that's in confident and is scoring goals. So whichever you guys feel best. But this is the team that I'd put together, especially with what we have available. Obviously, there is no Kudus, no Kulusevski, no Madison, no Solanke. So if they were all available, they'd be occupying most of these spaces, but they aren't available. So we have to accept what we got, and this is the best that we can put together in my eyes. But I'd put Vicario, Davies, Mickey, Romero, Spence, that one-on-one from Semenyo versus Poro killed us last game. Do you know what? You are right. Sam West, you are right. You are right. That could be an option. You might. Do you know what? You probably caught me out there. That's something that I probably didn't think about. Spence over here. Maybe you could throw Ben Davies in over here. Personally, Ben Davies started in 2026. Madness for me. But I totally get your logic. So I'm not gonna sit here and just like act like you're chatting rubbish, because you're spitting some facts. You're spitting some facts there, somewhere. So much more dangerous on the counter with the attack instead of Richie fucking over the counter like those 2 moments against Brentford and Sunderland. And that's the thing that some of these men don't get, Sam West, yeah. With these three, at least we know we can counter-attack effectively. We had Richarlison running through, had the option to make the pass, delayed the pass, and then played it into the fucking defender's feet. Like, the guy frustrates me so much. So much. I get so frustrated watching Richarlison. That's why I can't do it. I just can't do it. But I'm hoping we can do something as their pitch is so small. The transition to attack is so quick, yeah. I do miss the White Hart Lane pitch that was small, because that's what we used to do to a lot of teams. We used to have that same effect that Vitality did. We used to press them higher, play quick, and transition extremely quick, and he used to throw teams off. But now we just got some mad big pitch, and we ain't got the players to be playing it around like that. But Odebert was linking up in the first half, had lots of shots, and they are young and lacking confidence. It's the club's fault for putting them in this position, and that's the thing, Darren, isn't it? Ultimately, if we're signing these players at 20 or 21 and asking them to play first team football and relying on them to score our goals and get us in the Champions League, then that's the issue. It's Tottenham as a club, not the players. But I hear you. Imagine saying Mawani is crap just to try and glaze the worst Brazilian number 9 in the history of football. Yeah, it's mad. It's literally mad. You know them ones sometimes you just have to sit there and be like, yo. You said it for me. But look, I'm going to end the poll. We had 30 votes. Frank in won. People are still for this manager. 57% voted Frank in, 43% voted Frank out. So some people are on the ledge waiting to jump off, but ultimately they are not off the ledge at the moment. A lot of people still have a lot of hope left in this manager, which I respect, because I think after Ange, a lot of people said we need to stick with a manager. So if this is the manager you want to choose to stick with, I hear you, innit? I hear you. Not my choice, not my manager, but hey, look, everyone's got to do what everyone's got to do. But look, on that note, people, because it's getting a little bit late, I got a meeting soon. I got to get some stuff ready. I am going big up Jords from a City fan, big up to you, Kipper X Kid. I'm going to send you guys over to Sava, who, of course, is going to be continuing some of this preview regarding Bournemouth, go into a bit more detail regarding Thomas Frank. Is he the manager for us? Ask your questions over there, because obviously I'm Frank out, Sava is Frank in, so we've got two different opinions, and you'll probably hear it different from him and his approach to this game. And Richie's just a statement for the state of our club. I hated that Solanke played last year under Ange, where he had to do all the dirty work instead of getting fed like Richie. Yeah, Richie's been getting fed plenty this year, just not scoring, and unfortunate for Solanke. But look, people, until next time, God bless, goodbye, have a good day. We will look out for the uploads, memberships. If you do have a membership, make sure you look out for the upload before the upload, because you'll get some exclusive access. And away from that, we will be back. Match reaction later. Come on, you Spurs. Let's hope that the Durag stays on.